Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to go over some exciting new updates that were just released by Gavel within the past few days. So if you want to follow along with me on this page, you can go over to Resources, Learning Center, and from the Learning Center, you can come down to Product Updates, where it's going to direct you over to this page here. So from here, we're going to see that they just released these updates on October 26th, and we have a ton of things to go over, as well as a few other ones I wanted to highlight before we do. The first is that you can now create single-use bundles. So all you need to do is go into the workflows that you want to be single-use and say, allow each user to complete this workflow only once. And that's under the settings tab. So if we go over to just any of these, I'll just quickly show you how to do this. In your editor, you just go over to settings and then you go over to access permissions and then say only logged in users. And it's this part here, allow each user to complete this workflow only once. So you just need to check that on, and then that's going to be updated for the workflows where that's going to be relevant. So that's a really, really important one because it makes it to where, let's say somebody paid for something and you only want them to be able to generate those documents once, they're only going to be able to do that once. So keep that in mind. Next is going to be around the generative AI. So that we know that this is brand new, this Gavel blueprint, which allows you to drag and drop your documents into here, and you can have more than one. And then it's going to automatically pick up where it thinks that you have some variables that you can go through, and it's going to suggest some variable names that you can update directly from here, and then also give you a variable type, and then you can accept or reject the suggested question, which is something like, how is the property described? What's the location of the property? What's the date of the agreement? What's the name of the production company? And so on and so forth. So that's really, really exciting, and we're going to go over this a little bit more in some of the newer updates as well. So for the ones that were just recently released, let's go through them one by one. The first is around subscription management. So if you're an admin in your account for Gavel, you can now manage your subscription directly from the dashboard, and they can immediately see their current subscription plan from the dashboard. So I'll go over to mine just to show you that you can see it here as the admin. You can see that you're on the pro plan and you can contact sales to upgrade. Now this is going to be contact sales to upgrade in my case because I'm on the pro plan, and the next plan up is enterprise, where you need to have more of a bespoke plan created for you because maybe you need a certain amount of users or organizational users or builders or admins or features or whatever else. So I need to actually talk to them to tell them exactly what I need. But otherwise, if you're on like a standard plan, then it will prompt you to be able to upgrade to pro, and you'll be able to see which plan you're on. So one of the things that will also be really important is to note that bundles are now an exclusive feature that can only be accessed with a pro tier subscription. So what I was showing you around this one around creating single-use bundles, you would need to have this plan of pro in order to access that bundles feature here. If you don't have a pro plan, you'll still be able to see bundles on your dashboard, but you'll see a different message here, which will be something like, go to upgrade to pro tier in order to access bundles. The next feature that was recently released is streamlined document management. So you can drag and drop your documents when you're reordering them within a given workflow. And then I'll go over one more thing here. So in this one, what they're talking about here is if you go into a workflow and you go under output documents, you can see now that you have the option to kind of drag and drop these documents in a different order if you'd like. Now, the one it's saying here is we've made tweaks to our message customization so you can be more precise. That's actually referring to settings under customized messages. So in this one, what we're talking about is before this change, the stuff that you see here under email was actually all under one section. So they're just differentiating between the things that you can modify within the questionnaire. So in this case, the final page message and what gets shown. And then the email template is going to be here for the email automation. And then the email session to continue later is a little bit of a hybrid because the first section here is going to appear within the workflow itself. However, the rest of this is going to be sent via an email. This next one is get started right away with the sample intake form workflow. So all new accounts will automatically come with a sample intake form that's ready to use. So what they're referring to here is if you, let's say I just made this particular builder account, you can see that there's already a sample intake form that is already uploaded to this particular user or builder's dashboard. So they can automatically go in and see how this was made, get some ideas, tweak it, or use it depending on what they want to do. But you'll be able to see all of the different documents, the different settings, and you'd also be able to go in and see those files here in the document templates as well if you wanted to download them and then review how they were made and tweak them. Finally, let's go over the Gavel Blueprint updates, which are saying that it now processes and delivers results faster with a 2-time latency improvement. And then we can also enjoy a more user-friendly interface that complements our tasks. And we have document navigation, which has been enhanced to improve the Blueprint experience. So let's go ahead and go through this example here. So all you have to do when you want to create a new workflow from starting with AI, you can say new workflow and then use Gavel Blueprint here. And then you just drag and drop your document straight into here like this. I already have this one going, so I'm going to show you from here. So once you do, you'll be able to see that it's going to highlight where it's recognizing that there might be a place for it to suggest some variables. So here as well. In this particular case, you can drag more than one document in, and it's going to do it for both or all of the documents that you upload. In my case, I'm just doing one just to show you for this example. And we can actually navigate through and click on each of these to see what it's suggesting for us and whether we want that or not. And we can see how many instances there are and what the questions are suggesting and so on and so forth. So in this particular case, we can see the variable name for our property owner, and that one's here, that we can go ahead and update here if we want to. We can see the suggested variable type is text, and the question that it's suggesting is who is the property owner. We can accept or reject this suggestion if we'd like. And then we have production company, which is here, and then it gives us the name and the question and the variable type, as well as the accept or reject options and so on and so forth. So once you've decided that you're okay with these ones, you've accepted and rejected whatever you want, you'll be able to go on to the next page where you'll be able to add a new page. So in a workflow, you want to break these different questions up based on, let's say, the differences between questions that are asking about the property, questions that are asking about the production company, questions that are asking about the project, and so on. So you can change this by saying add page, and then let's give this a page name. This can be something like production company, add that page. And then what's going to happen here is you can just drag anything that has to do with the production company down, or you can say move to and then page 2 and then say move here. So that's really easy. And you can also collapse if you have really long pages and you're just trying to work through something. So let's go on and add one more page, and let's make this one like property information or something. It doesn't matter, we're just going to do it for an example. So now we have property information, and then we can look for all the ones that are like property. So property owner, let's move that one to property information. Let's move property location to property information, and property description, let's move that there as well. And then these ones are all going to be the kind of date of agreement, project start date, and duration of the project. So that looks pretty good. And we can also toggle these open and closed here as well, just for ease of use, especially for longer ones. So now that we have that set up, we can go on to the next step here, where it's going to take us straight over to the editor. And what's really cool about this is it already has broken these down for you by page. So we can go through and we can change the name of this if we wanted this to be something else, or you can just take off the page 1 section. It's up to you how you want this to look, but you can see that all of the things that we wanted and all of the movements that we made for this particular one have been moved, and all of this has already been done for you. What's also really cool about this is the variables were automatically inserted into your document, and all you would need to do is just give this a new name. So let's call this location location release, for example. And then you can determine whether you want this generated as a Word doc, a PDF, or both. In my case, I just want it to be PDF. So let's go ahead and save this, and then let's give it a run and a test from here and see how we get on. So we have what is the date of the agreement, what's the project start date, the duration of the project, let's say like 12 months. And then we can say what's the name of the production company. Let's do something like Media Co. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, and how is the property described? So maybe one thing I would change is I would change this one to like be a little bit longer, or you can just keep it short because in the document it's pretty short as well. Let's say something like a painter's studio, and then we can say for the location of the property, something like 1, 2, 3 Painters Way, and that's in, let's do city, state, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who is the property owner? Let's call it Mr. John Doe. And then we're going to continue. We get a chance to review our answers, and then we can continue. And then from here, we're going to be able to see that we have location release, which is the new name that we gave it. We only have a PDF because I asked that it only be a PDF rather than both a Word and a PDF. And then we can see where things got inserted for us, which are things like here we have made on between Mr. John Doe, the owner, and the name of the production company, and then the date that we are doing this. The 1, 2, 3 Painters Way city state address has been also inserted here. We can see a painter's studio. We can see that we would have needed to kind of like insert some other variables, but so far so good. But we can see that it's working, and that we can also see that this one for October 4th has been added in, as well as the 12 months term, and that it's all been made the same format as the surrounding text without us having to do anything else. So that's pretty dang good to start, and we can go through from here now that we have kind of a structure and just add in any additional variables we need, as well as any other questions, and go through and if we wanted to kind of go through and retag our document with anything we update, you can just say edit document here, and that's going to take us directly over to where this document is within our document template. So if you just click on this now, you're going to be able to save this, let's say to our desktop here, and then you're going to be able to see like these particular ones have already been inserted for you, and then you can just add in any additional ones using your document tagger here directly within Word. And if you don't already have the document tagger, you can just go to insert, add-ins, get add-ins, and then just go over to the store and say Gavel, add, continue, and that's going to do that for you. Or you can go over to developer, and you can see add-ins here as well. So either way. And then once you get to there, you can create an API key by just putting in a word for it. Let's say a name like Word, add-in, or whatever else, create a key. It's going to give you a long name, and then you're just going to log in from the splash page after saying start. So that is how you can kind of go through and make any changes, but at least you're going to get kind of a head start on your workflow using this generative AI feature that was recently released by Gavel. So let's see if there's anything else you want to cover. I think that really covers it for these past 3 product updates, which have been major. And so I'm really excited for you to get to try these different things out. And thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next video.